good morning and warm welcome to KSR Datavision. In today's session, we would be going through what exactly is the business intelligence and what all components are present in the Power BI. We would be starting with basic components of Power BI, how Power BI is developed, what all components are there, how we can use that Power BI as a reporting service. So that all components we are going to have a basic intro into and how that components look. So that is what our plan is for today. Now, if you take a look at this business intelligence representation, it includes multiple aspects. Maybe I'll zoom it for you. Yeah, now this should be fine. We can keep it to 90. Now, if you take a look at this, if anyone can guess or if anyone can give me some insights, what all components you can understand, may not be technically, in simple terms. It is data warehousing, it is data discovery and visualization. So it is not only restricted to certain component, maybe only reporting, only analysis of data, but includes all other components which are part and parcel of it, the business intelligence. So if you understand, see where the business intelligence starts, how the process flows is. Let me do it again. Just give me a moment. Now, if you take a look at this diagrammatic representation, how and where the processes start. Exactly. Right? I might have kept this arrow here. That means what I'm trying to indicate here is always it starts from the data warehousing. So there is a warehouse. Now, what exactly is a warehouse? In simple terms, we'll discuss all in simple terms. Right. So what exactly is a data warehouse? Data warehouse is nothing but, if you understand the word with warehouse, that means you're storing something, right? You're storing something. So wherever there is a warehouse, that means there is a data. That means there is some storage. It might be a data storage. It might be any kind of storage. So with that data warehouse, we can extract the data. That means there is some discovery. Discovery means we are extracting, we are getting some new data, we are getting extraction of a specific data which we are looking into, which is important for a business, and then we can create the visualization. Now, only these two components are part of business intelligence? No, that is not the case. Along with the data warehousing, if you see there is one more component towards left of it, which is data warehouse modernization. That means if you have created a warehouse, it is not always that warehouse should be stable warehouse, right? There should be some updates. The data should be getting updated. So how we can process that, how we can make that modernized data in, in any specific storage area, might be a warehouse, might be a database. So even that is more important. Now, these three components are all good. If you take a look at the below four components, these four components are slightly different. Now, what slightly different is, see, if you are following certain, maybe you are walking on a road or you're driving your bike, riding your bike or driving a car, there are certain rules which you have to follow on the road, right? You have to drive right side. Right side overtake is present in India. There are signals, there are certain rules which we have to follow. We have to always wear a helmet. So all these rules we have to follow. The same process happens with the data. It is not that if you have a data, you can manage, you can pull in the data, you can do whatever you want with the data. No, that is not the case. Along with the data, you have to follow certain rules. Now, that rules is part and parcel of data governance. How do you govern that data? How do you maintain that data? There are certain rules, there are certain regulations. So you have to manage all these components. So that is what is called as data governance. So along with data governance, there are many other aspects which we also have to understand. So this is over and about all the business intelligence. It always starts from warehousing where you store the data, but from warehousing also you need to follow certain modernization techniques, certain rules and regulations to follow. How do you maintain that data? And along with that, what we use the data for is for visualization. It is for analysis of data. Now, there is the master data management. Now, this is not more related to data analyst. This is more related to data architect level rules. But what is master data management? It is how do you manage data? How you are locating your data in different aspects. So that is what is called as master data management. So there are many other rules. There are many other aspects also which we have to understand. While going further, we will go through all these components, which will help you to identify that how this data analyst and how the business intelligence will have a key impact on any specific sector which you're working on or any specific business which you're working on. Because wherever you go, there is some intelligence, there is some rules, there are some aspects which you have to follow. So that is what is combined together to form as a business intelligence. Right now, going further. So
One
if I,
question.
yep, go ahead.
So let's say before coming to the data warehousing, the data. So let's say if I have the operational database, and is it necessary to go data on Lakehouse and then go to the warehouse and then fetching data in Power BI through the warehouse, or I
No,
can directly fetch data in a Lakehouse as well, data
so
lake.
see, there are certain, now the question is not every time the data should be coming from a warehouse only, not every time the data should be coming from a lake only. Uh, to simplify it for you guys, if I want to give you a difference between lake and warehouses, data lake and data warehouses, data lake is all unstructured, purely unstructured data, whereas data warehouse is more a kind of semi-structured data. So it is not that if you are pulling data from a data lake, it has to come to a data warehouse and then only it has to come to Power BI. There are options you can directly connect to data lake as well. And there are options you can directly connect to data warehouse as well. Now it all depends on from where you're pulling the data. If you need some additional, see, data lake is purely unstructured. So you want to make it more a kind of structured, maybe semi-structured, you can pull it to the data warehouse and then you can further connect it to the Power BI. So that's how the processes work. That's how the importance of data movement is. It is not that every time you should follow that same set of rules. You can directly connect to any specific source which are available in Power BI. Now we are also going to see how many connectors are also there in Power.
So generally, can you give me an example where we use data lakes and where we use data warehouses?
Good. Now, in simple terms, I'll give you one best example which will help you to differentiate where do we use lakehouse and where do we use warehouse. Now, where do we use in the sense what exactly that components are, and it will simplify it for you. Give me a moment. Now, if suppose this is a data lake, this is data warehouse, this is data mart. There is a component called as data mart, and then there is a database. Now, what is the exact difference between all these four components is? I'll take only one example. Right now, if you're trying to purchase certain product, might be any product, uh, your day-to-day life, the products which you're using on daily basis, or any individual product which you're trying to consider, right? Now, let's suppose we want to purchase a spice or spices, a masala box. So how this masala box manufactured is? It is manufactured from a factory, right? Where all the raw materials are kept. In a factory, the masala is not a finished product. Where all the raw materials are kept, they try to mix all the other spices to make at a certain quantity to make it a final product. Now, data lake is what purely unstructured. It is purely unstructured. Now, what is this data lake? This you can call it as a factory, because in a factory, all the raw materials are kept. Now, once that product is manufactured, these spices, they will come to certain warehouse, right, where all these spices are stored. Now, spices can be of different types. Some South Indian spices are there, some North Indian spices are there, spices which we use on daily basis. So, warehouse is where it is semi-structured. I'm not purely calling it as unstructured, it is semi-structured. Now, what is this data warehouse or how the spices is stored in the warehouses? You will keep certain spices in certain racks, right? Certain areas, right? In a warehouse is a very large area. So in that very large area, you bifurcate multiple spices in different areas, right? This is South Indian spices. This is North Indian spices. This you can keep it as daily user spices. So different spices are kept in different racks or different areas. So these are called as semi-structured, right? The information is not purely structured. Yeah, somewhere it is semi-structured. So that you can call it as a data warehouse. Now coming to data mart is always a part of data warehouse. It is always a part of data warehouse. This South Indian spices, you can call it as a one data mart. This North Indian spices, you can call it as a one data mart. This daily user spices, you can call it as a one data mart. That means combination of multiple data marts create one single data warehouse. And what is data mart? All the similar products which are grouped together is called as a data mart. At the last, whenever that spices are coming to the shop where an individual will purchase, so that shop is purely structured, right? If you visit any superstore or a shop, you can easily find whatever spices you want to look. I mean, you're trying to get that spice, you're trying to purchase that spice, you can easily find it, right? Somewhere it is written, or maybe if you visit a shop also, the shopkeeper will directly pull in that information. That means pull in that spice. So that information, the database is purely structured. It is purely structured. So that's how the information also flows in a data. Always data comes from a data lake only. But if you feel the data is purely structured, why to use data lake? Go with data warehouse. That means if you feel the data is semi-structured, you can go with data warehouse. And if you feel the data is purely structured, that means there is purely relationship between multiple tables, you can go with database. So it all depends on the usage. It is not that every time you have to use a data lake only. Data lake is what you can dump any structured, unstructured, any kind of data is purely dumped into data lake. So the maintenance cost for a data lake is less. Maintenance cost, I'm not talking about overall cost. Maintenance cost is less. Whereas for maintenance cost of a database is high because the information is purely structured. So that's how the information flows. Whereas data warehouse in between, right? It is between the data lake and database. So maintenance cost is somewhere intermediate, right? Any questions on this example?
Yes. When we are fetching data from directly data operational database to the Power BI reporting purpose, so then if let's say if it is a huge data, then when we refresh or when we interact with the report, our database will slow down or it will not.
No, database won't slow down. The query performance will come down in Power BI itself. It will not impact the database, rather it will impact the performance of a Power BI reporting. Now, in that case, we have to manage that data in certain data flows. There are many other aspects also. There are many other components in Power BI which we can use it to minimize the uh, what you can say the data dependency on the Power BI tool, rather than uh, you can managing everything in database or managing everything in Power BI. We can manage in between these two components. There are many other tools also in between, right? ETL, right? Data flow is nothing but an ETL tool.
Okay, yes. Thank you.
Any other question?
So from data mart, the data will go to the database, right?
Yes.
I mean the
Data
flow, the
mart is
flow.
part and parcel of data warehouse
At what
only.
data warehouse, yeah.
Yeah.
So from the semi-structured data, in the database, I mean it will be further structured.
Hmm, hmm.
Okay, okay.
Right. Think if you have any other questions, give me 30 seconds, or maybe I'll give you 30 seconds. Try to write your questions if you have anything. Again, after 30 seconds, I'll unmute myself so that you can ask me that question. Okay. Any other questions? So I have a question here. How can we differentiate between data mart and data? What is DG?
Sorry, it is database.
Okay. See, data mart is part and parcel of data warehouse. You cannot call it as a separate component. Now, the thing is, in database, you can store any kind of information. In data mart, it has to be similar set of information. And data mart is not purely structured, it is semi-structured because it is part and parcel of warehouse. Does that answer?
Yeah.
Okay. Now coming down to what is Power BI? Why only Power BI? Right, we have seen some insights related to Power BI yesterday. Why only Power BI? Why not the other tools, right? It's the Gartner which is giving you a higher edge because Microsoft is leading. Along with that, there are some other differences also which we need to identify, that why Power BI, why not other tools. So we would be understanding that differences. Now, what differences we will be understanding? We'll be understanding the comparison, how Power BI works and how Tableau works, or maybe how Power BI works, how ClickView works, right? So if you want to check this comparison, we'll start with this Power BI and Tableau. Tableau is the second widely or second most widely used reporting tool. And it was a market leader prior to Power BI. From 2019, Power BI is the market leader. Prior to that, for 6, 7 years, Tableau was completely leading the reporting business or reporting world. Now, if you take a comparison, there are a few changes also. I mean, if I want to specifically highlight, Power BI is the only reporting tool in current world which is getting every month updates. Every month you will get some or other update. It might be a very small update. It might be a big update also, but some or other way you are getting an update in Power BI. That's how the Power BI is, or the Microsoft is currently working with Power BI to improve, right? So there are certain updates means they are improving themselves. They are making sure that, okay, if there is some lag, if there is some maybe a question from the team or from an individual that this is not working up to the mark, or maybe we can get some additional updates. So the Microsoft team is responding and working on the further updates. So this is the only tool in current market which is getting every month updates. Now, the question is it that the other reporting tools will never get an update? No. Tableau is also getting updates, may not be on monthly basis. It might be quarterly, it might be a half yearly basis. Now, if you compare with Qlik is getting 1 or 2 updates a year, whereas Power BI is around 11 to 12 updates that every month update is getting, or some new features are getting added. Now, if you want to compare, Power BI has default. Default means visuals which are directly available. You need not download any visual. You need not log in and get that additional visual. But the visuals which are default available are 36 visuals. There are 36 default visuals which are available in Power BI. Now, coming down to Tableau, the limit is around 25. Maybe 10 visuals, default visuals, there is a difference. Now, if you want to create any chart or a visual in Power BI, you have to just drag and drop. Now, it is the same case in Tableau also. But while writing or while getting any specific information loaded to the Tableau chart or a visual, you need to certainly write some set of code, some set of information, which is not compulsion in Power BI, right? It is not available. You can directly drag and drop the columns, the values, the data set values. So that is the difference. Number of visuals, 10 more visuals. You need not write a single line of code. Whereas in Tableau, yes, there are certain formulas which you have to mention and write that. In Power BI, that is not compulsion. Now, Power BI has around 200 data sources. Around 200 data sources you can easily connect to Power BI. Now, data sources means the one which we have discussed now, databases, data lakes, data warehouses, and I mean, data mart is part of data warehouse only. So if you compare, there are 200 plus connectors which are available in Power BI, whereas in Tableau, it is somewhere around 85 now. Now you feel the difference. More than twice the connectors or data sources are available to connect. That's how the powerful Power BI is. Now, not every time it will have an added advantage. There are few options also. If you see, if you're going with Tableau, it comes with unlimited storage. That is the only advantage which Tableau gets if you compare with Power BI. Whereas Power BI comes with certain restrictions. Now, this is not 100 TB every time. It all depends on licenses. The Power BI comes with certain licenses. Power BI desktop, which is used for development, is totally free. But once the development is done, you need to publish that report. That report has to be published in an online version, in a website, which is called as Power BI service. So there you will get different licenses, Pro, Premium, in Premium also Premium per user and Premium per capacity. Now this Premium per capacity is going away. In future, it will go away, but there are two licenses. So if it's Pro, it comes with 10 GB. And if it's Premium, it comes with 100 TB, which is more than sufficient for an user, which is more than sufficient. And if you see the costing, the most important part is costing, right? Because this is what decides whether which tool we need to go with. Power BI Pro comes with until now in the sense till the current month, April, and even in May or in June also, it would be $10 per user for a pro license. If it's premium, in premium, as I've said, there are two bifurcations, premium per user and premium per capacity. Now, you can change it. Premium per user comes with 20. But starting from July 2025, the prices will vary. Vary in the sense the Microsoft team has increased the prices for the first time in this decade, right? Power BI was introduced. Let me also help you that it was introduced in 2015. So from 2015 until today, they have never increased a one single penny. But from July 2025, they are increasing the prices. Pro will be 14 and premium per user. I'm not talking about capacity. Premium per user would be 24. So these are the prices which would be getting affected from the July 2025. Right. So, I mean, even if it's 14 or 24, you see the Tableau minimum comes with 70. So it is almost three times. Right. So that's the reason people are going with Power BI. Yes, Tableau also has certain edge over Power BI with data management because we can manage a large chunk of data easily, whereas Power BI has certain limitations accepted, but you can always go with that. Any questions here? Any questions? Okay, there are no questions. Now, there is one more advantage of using Power BI is Power BI has a support of around 600 DAX functions. There is a language which is present in Power BI. Now, that is, you can call it as a language, but it is not purely language. It is more about formulas. So there are around 600 DAX functions which are present in Power BI. If you compare it with Tableau, Tableau has around 250 to 300 now. I mean, it's the latest update, not more than that. Right. So that is the biggest advantage of using Power BI over Tableau. Now, if I go ahead, let's compare Power BI and Qlik. You can easily see the difference. Right, 1 GB to 10 GB accepted. You can go it to 100 GB, 1 TB, 100 TB. All of the options are available in Power BI depending on the licenses which you're purchasing. Whereas if you go with Qlik, default Qlik comes with the basic Qlik license comes with $30 per month per user. So easily understand the differences. And I mean, The advantages, Power BI also comes with an inbuilt ETL option, which is Power Query. That is what it makes as one of the most powerful tools. Power BI always comes with inbuilt ETL tool, which is called as Power Query. And if you want to compare it with some other tool as well, I mean, why I have only compared these three tools is because these three tools, Tableau was one of the market leader prior to Power BI. Prior to Tableau, Qlik was the market leader. And when the reporting was introduced to the world, MicroStrategy was the power. I mean, it was the powerhouse of the reporting almost 15 years back. Right. So this is how the differences are. If you check this point, it is more complex, might require training. The user interface of the Power BI is totally user friendly. Totally user friendly. So you drag and drop, that's it. You need not require any additional training for it. And the biggest advantages, Power BI, as I've said, it comes with 200 data sources. Out of these 200, almost 100 data sources are related to Azure. That means whichever service you are using in Azure, every service has a support to connect to Power BI. That's how the compatibility with the same Microsoft environment is. So the reason people go with Azure along with Power BI may not be the other cloud services. Right. So these are the differences. This is how it works. Now, if I, just a moment, if I move ahead, the next tab will give you a basic idea. Just this line is coming. Let me reshare it. This is the exact history of Power BI. As I've said,
It is
it
for
was
premium, it is 100 GB, right? Not 100 GB.
now it is 100 GB for a certain licenses. In premium also, as I've said, there are multiple other licenses which are present. If you go with premium per user individually, it comes with 100 GB. If you go with premium per user for a set of users, it comes with 1 TB. If you go with premium per capacity, it comes with 100 TB. So it all depends on what kind of licenses you're using.
Okay.
Now, as I've said, it was introduced in 2015, July 24. So exactly after 10 years, they're increasing their prices by $4, not more than that. So which all companies are using, forget about these names. These are very older names. Now, along with these companies, there are many other companies which are using Power BI on day-to-day basis, including government offices as well. The government of India. If you have any idea, if you have any of your uh, colleagues, if you have any of your family members working in any government offices, if there are some technical people, you can always check with them that if government is using some data analysis or reporting on which specific tool they are working, 90% they will work on Excel or Power BI only. Now, Excel, as I've said, Power BI is an upgraded version of Excel. Not every time they'll use an Excel, they are using Power BI for the visualization nowadays. So that's how the compatibility, that's how the penetration of Power BI is in the current market. Now, how Power BI works, what exactly the Power BI is, right? Power BI comes in two different components. Rather, in Power BI, there are 5 components, but at the higher level, there are two different components. One is Power BI Desktop, one is Power BI Service. This is for dev. Dev means development. And this is for service, publishing. If you want to publish something, this is for service. If you want to access a report from any part of the world, this is service. So the data flows from here. It flows from here. Without development, there is no publishing of report, right? So you have to develop something. So Power BI Desktop can be connected with any of these data sources, any data sources. And once you connect to the Power BI Desktop, you can make your report. You can what changes you want, you can do all that changes. Whatever development you want, you can do all that development. And at the end, you can publish it to the service. So at the higher level, there are two different entities, or there are two different components which you can identify, which is desktop and Power BI service. Now in desktop also there are sub components, which are, you can call it as a primary components. What all the primary components are? This is Power BI Desktop. Power BI Desktop comes with a combination of Power Query, Power View, Power Pivot, Power Map, Power Q&A, and Power BI mobile apps. That means this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this Power BI Desktop is a main development component which comes with a combination of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 6 different sub components. Now every component has its own behavior. We have to understand that. And at the last is the Power BI website, which is your Power BI service to publish any specific report. Now we're also going to discuss what is Power Query, what is Power View, what is Power Q&A, what is Power Map, what is Power Pivot. So we're also going to discuss all these components one after the other, but these are the 6 different components which are part and parcel of Power BI Desktop. As a developer, you should know all these 6 components. And then at the last, once the development is done, you can publish it to the Power BI website. That's how it works. And the last is, this is how the Power BI Desktop, if you download Power BI Desktop, this is how the Power BI Desktop view looks like. This is the exact UI. Now, the UI which you are seeing, this you can call it as a Power View. This is a Power View. This is a purely Power View component. Power View is where you create your charts. You can see how many charts are there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7, 6 are 42. Not all these components are charts. There are some repeated components also. You can see this is a slicer. There are some new updates in the slicer. Even this is a slicer. This is a card. Even this is a card. So there are some repeated visuals as well. But on an average, there are 36 default visuals which are available in Power BI in current market or in current update also. So Power View is where you create your visuals. If I again go back, this is our Power View. This is where you create your visuals. Power Map. You see there is a map visual here, right? This one, this one. These are the map visuals, these 3. So Power Map is nothing but a component which is inbuilt, which is part and parcel of Power View only. Power Map is just a visual. It's an additional visual which is available in Power View. You can create that Power Map visuals in Power View to create some geographical identification information. If you want to show some geographical identification information, we can use this Power Map. So Power Map is part and parcel of Power View. If I again go ahead, there is this Power Q&A. This is your Power Q&A. What is this Power Q&A? I'll again simplify it for you, how this processes work. So if we are considering, this is Power View. Power View is where all the visuals are created. Inside this Power View only, there is Power Map. Inside this Power View only, there is Power Q&A. And before this Power View, there is a in background or prior to that, which is behind this Power View, there is a Power Query. Now, what is Power Query? Power Query is where you can create your ETL transformations. You can clean your data. And inside this Power Query only, there is Power Pivot. Inside this Power Query only, there is a Power Pivot. Yes, there is Power Pivot. I'll try to show it in the Power BI desktop app as well. But Power View is where Power Map, Power Q&A is present. Prior to that, there is a Power Query, and Power Pivot is also part of Power Query. And once all these components are done, in Power View also, there is one more component called as Power Mobile Apps, Power BI Mobile Apps. Now, what is mobile apps? If I go back to the presentation, that icon is missing. Let me open the Power BI desktop so that it is very easy to understand. Okay. Now, once I open the Power BI desktop, so this will give me multiple options. Let me open the blank report, which is totally idle. This is your Power View. Right. So this is totally your Power View. Now, in Power View only, if you see towards left, there is an icon called as Mobile Layout. Default, it comes with the desktop layout, but there is one more icon called as Mobile Layout. If I change it to Mobile Layout, it will take the mobile screen. So this is called as Power BI Mobile Apps. You want to create a report in terms of mobile view, you can create a report in terms of mobile view as well. Now, this is called as Power Q&A. If I hover on this visual, see it is giving me some option called as Power Q&A. This is Power Q&A. Now, what is Power Q&A? It is nothing but artificial intelligence. Somewhere it is related to Copilot. Prior to Copilot, only this Power Q&A was there. And the visuals which are map visuals, right? This is map. This is map. So these map visuals are called as Power Map. So in Power View only, there are three sub-components like Power Map, Power Q&A, and Power BI mobile apps. So total 4 components we have seen. The 5th component is your Power Query. Now, what is Power Query? If I click on this transform, if I open this transform data, you will get this Power Query editor. Now, what is this Power Query editor? This is where you can transform your data. See, there are multiple options. Now, these options are grayed out because there is no data. Once you get in the data, you can easily transform, you can easily change the data, you can clean, filter, whatever transformation which you want. You can do all that transformations which are available inside this Power Query editor. And inside this Power Query only, there is this option called as Power Pivot. See, pivot column, unpivot column. These 2 components are called as Power Pivot. So we have seen all 6 components. All the 6 components we have seen. Right. One is Power View, where you will find Power Map, Power Q&A, Power BI mobile apps, and the other component which is background to Power View is your Power Query editor. And inside that Power Query editor only, pivot and unpivot columns or pivot, Power Pivot or Power Unpivot options are present. So these are the 6 important components of Power BI desktop. With these 6 important components only, all the development happens, total end-to-end development. And this is totally free. Even though you are seeing my name, see, there is this my name, I've logged into this. Even if you don't log in, that is fine. You can do the development, but only to publish your report. Publish means to share the report with the other people who can access it. You have to publish it to the Power BI service. From there, if you want to publish it, you can use this login option. Without login also, all the development can be easily done in Power BI. That's how the Power BI desktop is, and it is totally free. And that's the reason for development also, none of the reporting tool is giving you a free option. If you go with Tableau also, you have to pay certain amount. Whereas for Power BI development, zero, completely zero, not a single penny. Only for service they are getting charged. Now I'll take a pause. Any questions here?
Is the Copilot free? There is one option.
No, this is not free. This comes with premium license, and in premium also there are sub licenses like P1, P2, P3, P4. So it all depends on which license you are getting added to. So if I click here, see, cannot connect to workspace that supports Copilot. Now I have connected a workspace which doesn't support a Copilot. It always comes with a premium P3 or more licenses. Now, these are all related to Power BI admin or architect level licenses. This is not for a data analyst point of view, but yeah, Copilot is not freely available. It is a paid version. But what you see in Copilot, the same component is Power Q&A. If you double click here, see, if you use this Power Q&A, you can ask a question. Now, there is no data. That's the reason it is giving you all blank. But once you get some data, if you double click here also, Power Q&A will open. And you can ask a question. It will give you certain idea that this is how it should look like, a visual representation. So we'll be going through that. What is the difference between Power Q&A, how Copilot works. But moreover, Copilot is not free. It is a paid version.
Okay.
Yep. Any other questions?
Additional visual charts we should have premium.
Shakil, your voice is very low. I'm not able to hear.
To get additional visualization to charts, we should have premium.
No. See, the thing is, whichever charts are available here, these are all default charts. Now, if you click on get more visuals, there is a, see, just like you have an Android phone or iOS phone, if you want to download any app, you visit the App Store or Play Store, right? So there are default 40 visuals, rather 36 important visuals are there. Now, if you're not satisfied with that 36 visuals, these are all visuals certified by Microsoft. If you want to get some additional visuals, you will get this 3 dots, get more visuals option. If you want to get the additional visuals, in that case, you have to log in. Without login, it will not work. Now, what is this? If I click here, it will open a Play Store like, which is Power BI Marketplace. Here you can download whichever visual you want. Now, there are certain rules also which you need to follow. You see, for all the visuals, this tick mark is not available. This tick mark means it is Power BI certified. So once we load any specific data, we'll also see the additional visuals also. There are many, around 500 plus visuals which are available in Power BI Marketplace. You can use that visuals. But the thing is, these visuals are not as compatible with all the data as if the default charts or default visuals are. Default visuals comes with many options. There are many options you can modify that visual, whereas the external visuals which you're downloading from the marketplace, that visuals are not that up to the mark. There are certain disadvantages. That's the reason they have kept it in the marketplace. These visuals are not default visuals. And it depends. It is on all our requirement. If you're not satisfied with any of these default visuals, well, you can go with the external visuals also. That option is open. But the thing is, you have to log in. You have to log in, only in that case it will work. And Power BI never works with your Gmail, Yahoo, or any personal email IDs. It works with the professional email ID. So you will be getting all these professional email IDs from the KSRT post second week, I guess after 10 sessions, you'll be getting this email ID. And from here only, you can connect to your Power BI service. That means if you want to publish a report, you can connect to the Power BI service and you can create a workspace there. Now, what is service also, we will be going to discuss once the desktop component is done.
One question here, Ritesh. This means that individuals cannot buy this license. They have to go with the organization.
No, you can purchase a license, but it has to be from an organization email ID.
Okay.
That's the reason, right? Individuals cannot purchase, means you need to have an organizational email ID.
Okay.
Not your Gmail email ID, because Gmail email IDs are not recommended. Maybe you can have @outlook.com. Sometimes outlook.com also supports, or maybe some domain email.
Yeah.
Can we use organization?
So other than these 34, 36 visuals, how often we'll be using other visuals?
See, I would say 80% of the time people end up using the default charts.
Okay.
Only 20% they go with some external visuals, and in external visuals also there are frequently used external visuals as well.
Okay.
So if I scroll down, maybe I'll simplify it for you. You see this tornado chart. It is a product of Microsoft. So you can use this because it's a product of Microsoft. If I again scroll down, see Power KPI, bullet chart, sunburst. These are all product of Microsoft. So you can go with the charts which are part and parcel of Microsoft organization because easily compatible.
Can we use organizational email
Can you please repeat your question, Shakil?
ID? Can we use organizational email ID?
Yeah, you can use your own organizational email ID. That also works.
Student ID, will it support student ID?
Yes.
Student ID generally, the college will be providing ID, right?
Yes.
So we can use that?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
It's a domain email ID.
Yes.
But again, as I've said, these email IDs will be shared by our team. So you need to.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. After, I'm talking about after some time. Yeah. Okay.
Any other questions? Okay, if I feel if there are no questions, we are almost, we have seen the components. We have understand how the Power BI is. Now the question is, how do you download this? The big question is, how do you download this? See, whatever I'm doing, try to follow that process. Mention Power BI desktop. If you mention it, the very first. Now, if I click on download now, it will open in Microsoft Store. Either you download from the Microsoft, if you're using a Windows laptop, you can download from the Microsoft Store. You can cancel it. You can download it from Microsoft Store also, or else there's the second option. Download PBI desktop. Again, it is asking me to go to the store. So it is up to us. If you want to go to store, you can open the store and you can download it from there. Even that works. That is one and the same. Now, the big question is, if it's a Windows, right? You're using a Windows. You can easily download. Windows is a product of Microsoft. You can download Power BI. If you're using Mac, anyone who is using a Mac here, Apple laptops, anyone out of all 70, anyone using Mac laptops? No one? That's good. Now, why the reason am I asking this? There is no support for Mac. No support. You cannot download Power BI in Mac. There's no option. The only option which is left for people who are using Mac is you have to use any virtual machine where Windows is your operating system. Only then you'll be able to download Power BI desktop. That's how it works. So that is the reason every time if I click on download, it is asking me to open the store. Rather than direct download option, it is asking me to open the store. Now, I would recommend you to go back and download this Power BI. Once you download, install it. And download means it is not only downloading, you're installing it also. Make sure. So once you install it, the very first page it should open is this page. I mean, it would open, it will give you options. Click on the blank report, it will open this page, which is Power BI. So here is what, and 60-70% of the time people will be using Power View only. 30% of the time they'll be going with the backend query, which is Power Query Editor. Within these two components only, all other components are clubbed. Right? Any other questions on this Power BI or whatever we discussed?
I have already installed and using the Power BI desktop. So if we if I have the license, then will I be able to continue with that?
Which license?
No, I don't have a license, but I'm using Power. I already downloaded the Power BI desktop.
It works. See, that is the thing. You can download, you can use the Power BI desktop even if you don't have license or login. Once you have your login, you can directly log in. That will still continue what you have developed. There won't be any change.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other question? Yeah, feel free if you have any other questions.
Hello. Hi, sir.
Yeah.
This is
Can you
Arshad.
please?
Yeah. So, go ahead.
Yeah. Like when we are going to start actual classes, can you please help me on that?
Which actual, see, we have started with Power BI on today only, right?
Yes,
This
yes.
is the
I mean,
actual one. So if you don't understand the tools, how would we directly jump? The reason is we have already started now. From tomorrow onwards, I'll be getting the data. We'll be doing some visualization as well.
okay. Thank you.
Again,
So,
let me, go ahead. Someone has
so
a question.
we are going to cover the advanced Excel also, right?
No. Advanced Excel, you will be, if you want an Excel, you will be getting Excel recordings if you want. They're all recorded sessions. And Advanced Excel is not a part and parcel of this course as a teaching. It's an added advantage. If you want an Advanced Excel, you will be given Advanced Excel pre-recorded sessions.
Okay.
Without license, we can't download the report in Power BI. So where are you downloading any report? You are downloading Power BI desktop. You're not downloading a report, right? If you have created a report and you want to publish it and then you want to download it, Only in that case, it will ask you for the license because you are downloading it from Power BI service. You are downloading Power BI desktop, not a report. You're downloading a tool, not the report. Report is what? Report is created with the help of this tool. Yep. Any other question? Yes, fair enough. If there are no questions, let me highlight one last thing. Yeah, go ahead.
Sir, I did not understand the Excel knowledge and advanced Excel. So I can
Yes,
learn
yes,
directly
yes.
Power BI.
Yes, totally yes. If you know Excel, it's an added advantage. That means it will be very easy for you to drag and drop. If you do not know also, it is still easy to understand. Maybe it will take 2 or more days time to understand. That's the only difference.
Okay.
Now,
So MySQL is not included in this course, no?
it is included. We have already completed for this batch.
Oh.
We are starting with Power BI. SQL is what we start with. Now, you will be given recorded sessions. If you're not satisfied with that, you will be added to some other batch where SQL is going on. Even if you're not satisfied with that, you will be added to SQL batch once I complete Power BI.
Sir, your voice not getting properly.
Is it audible now?
Very low.
Okay.
Your voice is low.
Yes. Now audible.
Yes, sir.
Sir, now your voice is audible.
Give me 30 seconds. I'm rejoining with the new mic. Just a- Now it is audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So it is not compulsion that you should know Excel only. And along with SQL, which you're trying to ask, SQL we have already completed for this batch. You will be given recorded sessions. If you're not satisfied with that, there are many other batches which are going on. There also you will be added. If you are even not satisfied with that, you will be added to the new SQL batch once I complete Power BI and Azure, maybe after 3 months, 2.5 to 3 months. So you have all three options.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, got it.
So where is the previous like sessions?
So today is the second session. Yesterday we started. Today is the second session. I'll help you how to access this previous recording or yesterday's recording. So the thing is, once you go to the KSR Datavision, click on sign in. So here it will ask you to create your account. And once you create your account, it will sign in. So this is how it looks. For you, there won't be anything if you're logged in for the very first time. Go to the Explore courses. Sure, you have to log in first. You have to create an account and log in. In the Explore courses, if you go to the pre-sessions, this is the pre-sessions. The very first tab which is available here is this. You have to click on this. You will get an option to call get. This is free. 5 sessions are free. So you can click on access now. Once you access now, it will open a new window. Here you can download the curriculum if you want. This is the option. Curriculum is in the lessons. There is this third option called as class records. Click here. You will be able to check the yesterday's recording and today's is still live. So you have an option to join now. Once the session is done, after 30 minutes, you can check the recording.
Okay, sir.
All good? Any other questions?
No, sir.
Sir,
Yeah,
in this
Suhas.
program, we are directly starting with Power BI.
we have already started with SQL. For the SQL, there were 25 students. For Power BI, so the trend which I've seen is people are more interested to learn Power BI, and once the Power BI they're learning, they know the importance of SQL. Then they will ask, "Can I learn SQL now?" Yes. So for this batch, I'm saying I have already completed with SQL. That doesn't mean if you're enrolling for Power BI, you will not be covered SQL. You have, and as I said, there are all the options open. Recorded sessions, not satisfied. Some other batch is going on. Some other batch means some data science, data engineering batch. You will be given recordings, live sessions there. Again, if you're not satisfied, at the end of this Power BI and Azure, I'll be starting with SQL again. So you will be added there. So all three options are there.
Okay, sir.
Any other question? Okay, I feel there are no questions. Still, there are 3 more sessions. You can, if you have any questions, please write it down somewhere. We can ask me post completion of the next 3 sessions. So you have a good amount of time to understand how my teaching is. Then you can take your decision, right? So, assuming that there are no questions, I am good for today. We are closing. If you have any other questions, again, as I've said, related to enrolling, wait for next 2 days and then you can go ahead and start enrolling for this course. Right, and thank you. Thank you for attending today's session. Have a very great day ahead. Let's connect back tomorrow.
Thank you, sir.